Hi there. It's me, Hazer, back again. Another predictions slash reactions slash whatever. What did somebody call these? Predactions? I think somebody put in the comments. That was a good one. Another predactions video from me, or predictions? I don't know. What should whatever. I'm spinning my wheels a little bit here. Anyway, we're going to be talking about what happened in week 4. What's going to happen in week 5. I did not keep up my 100% prediction rate for week 4, but who could have done it with what went down? The only one I'm kind of mad at myself for not getting right was Titans versus Warriors. But anyway, let's look at it. Let's not talk about it. Let's look at it. Let's get right into the action. I'm in the top right. Hello. See the standings here on the right. They have fixed that. Well done. Good. Anyway, started off with the Titans versus the Valks. The Titans looked a lot more convincing in this 2-0 than they did in their win in week 3 against the Scarabs, which was also a 2-0, I'm sure. But this one, they looked good. They looked convincing. The Valks, they had their worst week yet, I would say. They looked very unconvincing this week, so hopefully they can turn things around. But right now it looks like it's all getting to be a bit too much for them with the ping. They're really struggling. Jade Dragons versus the Bolts. The Bolts won. I did consider this to be a possibility. I think I still put this as 2-0 to the Dragons or 2-1 to the Dragons. I definitely had the Dragons winning. But the Bolts came out and just played better. I think the Dragons this weekend looked really, really shaky. I think their drafts, in particular in their set against the Scarabs, looked really bad. But it looks like, I guess, though, all those lost scrims that they've been talking about are finally catching up to them. And I think it'll be a good shift for them and their mentalities, I think, to take 2 losses this weekend. But anyway, I had them winning both. I figure until you see a team lose, you keep predicting them to win. So, oops, my bad. Only Warriors versus Tartarus Titans. 2-1 by the Titans. The Warriors still look very, very shaky. There's a reason they're down the bottom of the league. The Titans really starting to step things up. Paul looking like an absolute monster at the moment on some new picks. Even the Giannis, he's looking pretty naughty on, which is cool to see. I love to see Paul in form. Benji seems to have refocused and turned things around from earlier in the season, looking a lot better. Same with Cyclone. And Aurora and Scary seem to be adjusting to playing with each other, and Scary's adjusting to the jungle role. So this team is the most improved team over the last couple of weeks for sure, taking down, I think they got three wins or 3 wins in 4 games now. 3 wins in a row. They took 3 losses to start off the season, and now they have 3 wins in a row. So cool to see the Titans turning things around. I'm happy for that, and I'm glad we're finally getting to see them live up to a little bit of their potential at least. I just noticed that the Titans here is that T. This font is super weird. The I and the T. Anyway, it's cool that they got a couple dubs this week that were very impressive. Leviathans took down the Valks. This is where the Valks looked truly... I mean, they played through the early game okay, I think. From what I remember, I don't know, I kind of tune out a little bit of Valks games at the moment, I'm not going to lie. Raffer, I think, bought War Flag on Ymir in game 2 of this set, which was interesting. The War Flag was not able to be the difference maker. Kings versus Bolts. I'm glad I got this one right, at least. It could have been 4 wrong predictions this week if I'd gone for the Bolts over the Kings. I did think this would be a closer set than it was, especially after seeing the Bolts beat the Dragons. But I did stick with my prediction of the Kings winning on stream. And I seemed to be validated with that one. I think the Kings playstyle plays really well into Bolts. I think the Bolts got pretty outdrafted, in my opinion. The Kings kind of knew what they were going to pick and what they were going to do. Big Man still looking fantastic in the mid lane, by the way. What a player that guy has turned into over the last year or so. Completely seemed to have evolved as a player over the last year. So congrats to him, and congrats to the Kings looking great. Twig looks like he never stepped out the jungle. Genetics in there with him. Variety is reborn as well in the solo lane, and Netruid just looking solid, looking really good. So this Kings team looking great. Bolts still looking good, but still obviously do have things to work on. And then we saw the Scarabs beat the Dragons. Beetles beat dragons. Who could have guessed it? Not me. But they did it. I think Solower Troll, again for the Solar Scarabs, has been looking really, really, really good. Same with Lairs in the jungle, and the other three they've been solid, and that's what they've had to be. No major mistakes. I mean, Bobby even took a few early deaths in that Ares into Xing Chen matchup. I mean, it could be tough in the early game, but those 3 deaths, I think those were the only deaths he had for the first, I want to say 15, 20 minutes of the game. Took 3 in like 4 minutes and then just never died again. So yeah, really impressive stuff from the Solar Scarabs. I'm particularly impressed with the Solo Scarab, which is Solower Troll. He has been fantastic for this team over the last couple weeks in particular. And Final K, uncharacteristically bad weekend from him. I think he got soloed by Haddix in the first set, and he picked up the Kama in this set against the Scarabs, and he didn't look comfortable on it. Looked like it was, I don't know, just to me, it didn't look like he was ever going to bully that lane and do well against Scots. So interesting to see. I'm going to be doing power rankings this evening, and I think before this week I would have had Final K at the top, but he had a pretty poor weekend and falls away from me. And yeah, that was it last week. A few shockers, notably the Dragons falling down twice. Leviathans now to the top of the standings, by the way, the only team to lose once, and that was to the Dragons. Kings, Bolts and Dragons all on the same win rate, and you've got Titans moving up to 5th, 3 wins in a row, Scarabs in 6th, and then the Valks and the Warriors stuck with only 1 win. Warriors taking down the Scarabs, the Valks taking down the Warriors. So yeah, some interesting placements. I doubt anybody, I can't imagine anybody would have predicted the Warriors sitting in dead last right now on head-to-head, admittedly, but sitting in dead last after 4 weeks of the SPL. I definitely wouldn't have predicted that. But yeah, let's go on to what I think will happen in our Week 5 matchups. We now have Thursdays, so I got a scroll bar now. Welcome to the scroll bar era of predictions. Week 5, Jade Dragons versus Valhalla Valkyries. 2 teams who are on the down. It's a good match for Jade Dragons to get their confidence back up, and I'm going to have them taking it 2-0 over the Valhalla Valkyries. I think the Valks right now are lost and struggling for motivation. I have seen Raffer starting to hit ranked a little bit more as of late, and maybe they're trying to bring themselves back into the groove, but I find it hard to see them turning it around until they move back to LAN. So I'm going to go with what I did last week and just predict the Dragons to win. 96% to 3%, by the way. So a lot of people agreeing with me. This one, not so many. Some people have the Warriors over the Kings. I think the Kings almost certainly win this. Right now, they look like the most solid, consistent team up against the weaker end teams. They never look like they're going to even drop a game against the weaker teams, I feel. I mean, the Scarabs, I took them through an early game at one point, but I never really thought the Kings were going to lose against them. So I've got the Kings winning this 2-0. I think they're just too strong in the core right now for the Warriors, unless the Warriors have seen a big turnaround. I think Dardes, Neil, and Cuvo really need to work on things for them. Next up, Leviathans versus Scarabs. I'm going to go with the crowd on this one and say the Leviathans win. Another team who are super, super solid against lower end teams. They seem to run the map too well. I think Panatom in particular, as I know I've said this before, but Panatom for the Leviathans is running the map better than he ever has. Just make sure that I'm still recording. Everything's fine. Looks that way. Yeah, I've been really enjoying watching the Leviathans. I think they will take down the Scarabs, even though the Scarabs have shown a lot of improvement. I'm going to say this is a 2-0. I think Leviathan's much less likely to slip up against... Well, are they much less likely? Who knows? So I've got a 2-0 to the Leviathans on this one. Oh. There's a rumor, by the way, that coming into this week or coming into next week, it might be coming into this weekend, teams may be playing not only on North American servers, they may be switching between them for at least one game, which might mean we see a lot more 2-1s against the Valks. I'm not sure if Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think they all have one more game and then they've finished their round robin. And then on the reverse fixtures, so when they start to play every team for a second time, I think there is a turnaround for servers. That's what I've heard. That's a rumor. So if I made that up or I wasn't supposed to say that, then please don't be angry at me. But yeah, that's what I've heard. So we might see some better games out of the EU-based teams as we get into the second half of this week. But first up, we've got the Titans versus the Kings, which is another matchup I don't think we've seen yet. Week 1 this is a replay. It was a 2-0 in week 1 for the Kings, and this is when the Kings looked very, very strong in week 1. Who takes it, though? Who takes it? So I wonder if that means that the Kings could choose an EU server for one of these games if they wanted to. And have Big Man and Genetics on low ping, and their other 3 players on the same ping as all 5 members of the Titans. Would be interesting. Interesting strategies might unfold here. But for this one, who do I have winning, you say? Very good question. I'm going to say this is going to be a close victory for the Kings. 2-1. I got the Kings winning this 2-1. They won 2-0 already against the Titans, I think. Titans are on the up and up. But we'll see if Scary can deal with Twig and Genetics pressure style in the jungle. I think Cherry might be able to help them prepare quite well for this because it's kind of his style of play that Twig plays as well. But we shall see if they're able to do so. I've still got the Kings taking it 2-1. Next up, Leviathans versus Bolts. I think this is a good matchup. Panatom versus Lasbra. New meta, by the way, this week. Shell nerfs come through. This is all going to be played on the patch, which came out yesterday, Tuesday. Fuck it, we got to go spicy at some point, right? 2-1. 2-0. 2-0 to the Olympus Bolts. They take them down. Why, you say? I don't know. Just got a feeling. A new meta will suit the Bolts pretty well. I think it's going to bring some new gods in for Lasper. I think he's someone who struggles a little bit with his god pool when certain gods aren't available. Will suit Panatom as well. I think he'll probably have an Erlang and a Daji in the locker for sure. The Pele might come out for either of these players. But I've got the Bolts taking this. I said 2-0, didn't I? Yeah, 2-0. Why not? Fuck it. Fun. Dragons versus Warriors. Warriors are going to need to really turn things around soon. As of yet, they haven't. As of yet, I don't think they've looked like turning it around. So I've got the Dragons winning. Scarabs versus Valkyries. This is a rematch. So the Valks will get to choose server side, I think, on one of the games. They did lose 2-1 to the Scarabs earlier in the season. They won game 1 through a monstrous performance through Johnny on the Loki, if I remember correctly. And then that got banned away and the Scarabs took game 2 and 3 to win 2-1. I think the Scarabs have only gotten better since then, and the Valks. Loki is open again now, I believe, as of this weekend. But yeah, I think they've gotten worse, honestly. I think they've gotten worse. I think they've lost motivation a little bit over the last little while. Maybe they'll switch it around this week, but I've got these Scarabs taking this 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. I don't know. It depends on the server situation. Maybe I've made that up. Maybe I haven't. And then we've got Tartarus Titans versus Olympus Bolts. Jake and Barra versus Aurora and Cyclone. 2 dual lanes that I feel like haven't lived up to their hype this season at all. I think they're 2. If you look at the duos on the map, if you look at the duos in the league, rather, these are 2 of the most impressive and storied alongside PBM and Pandaca. I mean, yeah, they're probably did any other. Well, yeah, you got Rafa and Emil. You got me. Rafa and Emil are pretty storied. But either way, I feel like these dual lanes, considering the heights we saw, particularly Barra and Jake reach towards the end of last season, I've been a little bit disappointed with what I've seen out of them. I don't know if it's just that duo's harder to play the way they played it towards the end of last season. I don't know if they're just slightly, maybe the off season took a little bit of their momentum away. I don't know, but they haven't looked quite as good as I thought they did towards the end of last season. Who takes it though? Benji versus Haddix again as well. Didn't we just... No. Yeah, Benji versus Haddix again, yeah. That's the matchup. That's a good matchup. I think when Benji is on, he's the best solo in the league, but he has been off and on this season so far. Who's taking it? I'm going to say that the Bolts take it. I mean, I got them beating the Leviathan, so I got to have them beating the Titans as well. They're going to have a great week if my predictions ring true. I'm much less confident about these ones than I was last week's, but then again, I was wrong in 3 games last week. I would have been certain. I was pretty sure that would be right. I was pretty sure that would be right. This one, I was a little bit more edgy on. So yeah, those are my predictions. Dragons, 2 over Valks. Kings, 2 over Warriors. Leviathans, 2 over Scarabs. Kings, 2-0 over Titans. Bolts, 2-1 over Leviathans. Dragons, 2-0 over Warriors. Scarabs, 2-1 over Valks. And Bolts, 2-1 over Titans. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to be doing my power rankings in about an hour from now, so this video might be up before then. I'll probably just upload it and put it up without ads, and won't pass the ad check-in before then. So hope to see you at my stream at 9 p.m. UK time, which is 10 p.m. Central European time and 4 p.m. Eastern time in America. You can figure it out. I don't know Pacific time. I'm sorry. I think you're at probably 1 p.m. Pacific time, but I'm not sure. Either way, thank you for watching, everybody. And yeah, it's SPL Thursday to Sunday this week. See you at my stream, and also hopefully see you tonight. Bye.